What's up, Ravens? On today's episode, we're bringing you coverage of Sunday's Trunk or Treat and the exclusive story on the cider mill.
For Molly Murphy, I'm Chloe Cowart, and this is ONW Now.
Many of ONW's organizations gathered here at ONW last week for the second annual Trunk or Treat. Reed and Allison tell us more.
This past Sunday, Olathe Northwest hosted their second annual Trunk or Treat. Many different organizations gathered their trunks full of candy to help put this event on.
Our interpersonal skills classes here at Northwest and Raven Service Club, we're kind of the ones that headed it up. Freshman committee's been a big part of it. The softball team's participating, cheerleaders. There's so many to list.
Miss Peter explains how all these organizations come together to put this wonderful community event on.
Basically, all the organizations that are participating, they come and set up their trunks of their cars and they decorate them. We encourage costumes. And we line up in the parking lot out here and basically open it up to the community for kids to come and trick or treat in a safe environment.
Okay.
This all started with Miss Peters' interpersonal classes. It started out being originally for a fundraiser but turned into a community service project. It was only a $2 entry fee this year or a 2-can donation.
All of the money will go to Special Olympics of Olathe, and the canned goods will go to Catholic Charities Food Bank in Olathe. We decided to keep it all local this year.
This year's Trunk or Treat turned out to be a huge success. There was a bigger turnout than last year, with lots of little kids dressed up and even some adults and dogs. For ONW Now, this is Allison Cook.
Thank you, Allison, and thank you to everyone who participated in this event.
You know, volunteering in events like this is a great way for students to get those highly needed service hours.
Volunteering looks great on college applications and can get you some scholarships. In honor of the fall season, we sent some of our students to the Lewisburg Cider Mill to tell us about the fall season attraction. Elena, what can you tell us?
The Lewisburg Cider Mill has been open for over 35 years, pressing apples September through November. Owner Shelly Schickerman talks about the process that apples go through once they are unloaded.
It's just a matter of taking an apple and crushing it. At that point it's called pumice, and then you put it between either a cloth or belts, and you squeeze that pumice until the cider runs off, and then you're left with the dry pumice, which we spread out on our 80 acres, grows great big pumpkins, and then the apple cider goes into a tank and then is eventually bottled.
With the cider season being so short, Shelly and her husband have created many other items to keep their business running.
We also make fruit butters, and we make preserves. In the off season, we do root beer, so we can keep our staff on year round since the apple cider is so seasonal.
Throughout the cider season, at least 50,000 people come through the Lewisburg Cider Mill. With the season coming to an end, the Burning Scarecrow is how they finish things up.
We call it the Burning Scarecrow, and it's kind of our way of ending up the season. We build about a 30 or 40 foot high structure, and then we light it on fire after dark, and people really like it a lot.
Come out to Lewisburg to check the cider mill out. For ONW Now, I'm Elena Gray.
Thanks, Elena. Chloe, didn't you also go to the mill with Elena?
Yeah, I did. It was a great experience. If you go down there, you should definitely try out their apple spice donuts. They make it worth the drive.
Good to know. The prop box is in the front office where students can recognize other students for kind actions. Drake and Kyle will tell us this week's top 6.
Dr. Poss and the Friends of Rachel's Club are excited to recognize this month's Raven Prop Box winners. Top props goes to Annie Schneller, Ben Capiti, Brenna Gall, Chris Gray, Connor Benincosa, and Selena Bouvalon. Many acts of kindness go unnoticed here at ONW. Be sure to recognize these acts of kindness by stopping by the prop box and the front office. This has been Drake Watkins for ONW Now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Congratulations to these students, and thank you to everyone who helps make ONW a friendlier place.
Let's take it to Tyler and Tanner for game day.
Got me down by the end of the song. Seem like the whole city go against me. Every time I'm in the street, I hear yak, 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 yak. Man down, where you from? No, where you from, mine? Where your grandma stay, mine? This mad city, I run my.
On Monday, the Ravens taking on the Shawnee Mission Northwest Cougars in the first round of regional play. Early on, the Raven defense was tested, and several amazing saves from the Ravens' back four and goalkeeper, including this diving effort and the clearance off the goal line there. The Ravens would take the lead early on as Brian Ness finds himself all alone and slots it past the goalkeeper, and the Ravens were up 1-0. Shortly after halftime, however, the Cougars would capitalize after the penalty, and the score would be tied at 1. Not to be undone, the Ravens would score again when Brian Ness passes it back to Brian Geller, who sends a beautiful cross in to bounce off the chest of a Raven, and the score was 2-1 Northwest. Unfortunately, that's where the magic would end for the Ravens, as the Cougars would score with 3 minutes remaining in the second half to tie the game at 2 goals apiece. And then 5 minutes into the 10-minute sudden death overtime period, a lofted cross would bounce around before finding itself in the top of the net, ending the Ravens' chances and hopes of advancing. The final score here, Shawnee Mission Northwest 3, Olathe Northwest 2.
Last Monday, October 21st, 6 sports information director students went to the Big 12 Media Day event at the Sprint Center. Students observed coach and player interviews. The SID students also got the opportunity to meet Andrew Wiggins, KU basketball player, Holly Rowe, ESPN telecaster, and Lon Kruger, Oklahoma Sooners coach. Overall, the day was a great experience, and the SID students were happy to be given such a great opportunity.
Last Friday, the Ravens took on the Olathe South Falcons in the second game of district play. Down early 13-0, the Ravens started a drive that would lead them all the way to the promised land. Junior Adam Harder takes the carry, careening down the sidelines for a huge gain, and the Ravens were in business. Several plays later, senior quarterback Cole Dahlquist would force his way across the goal line, scoring the touchdown to give the Ravens their first score of the game. The Ravens had another drive going down 13-7 with 40 seconds remaining in the half, but after a long completion to Chase Gitlin, the drive would stall. In the second half, the Falcons would run away with it, scoring on several drives to put the Ravens away 28-7.
Every time I'm in the street, I hear yak, yak, yak.
Dr. Poss's positive attitude really just makes everyone's day a little bit better.
Every day in the hallways, she's always like saying hi to random students, and I think secretly she knows every single one of our names.
Her leadership, so like going to the games and just being really involved with the school and just being enthusiastic at the pep assemblies is kind of how we reflect off of her.
She will support the Ravens, and even if it's not sports, she'll be supporting the Ravens 7 days of the week.
I often say I want to be her when I grow up because she is the epitome of perfect leadership to me. I think that she is the greatest role model, and if I can even be just a little bit of what she is, I'd feel great.
And then she just brings unbelievable energy and passion to everything she does. She's just a tireless worker for the teachers at Olathe Northwest, for the students at Olathe Northwest. She just brings great energy and passion to her role as our leader.
Dr. Poss just really, really cares about us, like as students, and I think that's probably why we're able to do a lot of the stuff we are doing.
Northwest has done a lip dub with the entire student body. We did a 10-year anniversary video with the entire student body, and we did the Katy Perry Roar video with the entire student body. All 3 of those videos were about school spirit and community, and we couldn't have done any of that unless we had a principal who supported it. And so I would say everything that we've done that's been successful has been a result of her leadership.
She sets a great example of just somebody who is who really puts a lot of time and energy and effort into making this a great school.